Alrighty, mathematicians. I just wanted to review a couple things on right triangles with you. First of all, remember right triangles because it has 190 degrees angle in it. And generally, we're going to, for our purpose, we're going to label them A, B, and C. A and B are the two shorter sides, and they'll always be referred to as the legs of the right triangle. They're actually the two sides that will form the 90-degree angle. The other side, C, which happens to be the longest side, we're going to refer to it as the hypotenuse. Okay? The hypotenuse, it's directly across from the 90-degree angle. It's the longest side, and it will never touch the 90-degree angle. All right, so just kind of an overview of right triangles before we get started. Yesterday in our discovery activity, we kind of came up with a formula for finding missing sides on a right triangle, and it was Pythagorean's theorem. And that theorem was a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared.
Please call extension 61.
This is real life, guys. Hang on.
Mrs. Inskeep, call 6100, please.
Okay, so if we consider what we know on our right triangle that's given here, we can see that A is equal to 6 feet and B is equal to 8 feet. So we can take these two numbers and plug them into Pythagorean's theorem where they go, which the theorem again was a squared plus b squared equals c squared. If we plug them in, a was 6, so that becomes 6 squared. B was 8, so that becomes 8 squared, and that should have been equal to, is equal to c squared. Let's go ahead and square those, so that's 36 plus 64 is equal to c squared. Since c is already isolated on this side of the equation, we're just going to go ahead and do the math here. Well, 36 plus 64 is 100. So 100 is equal to c squared. So the length of this side squared is equal to 100. We don't want to know what c squared is. We want to know what just plain c is. Well, c squared means c times c. So if we find the square root of c, that's just going to equal c by itself, which is what we're interested in. We know just by the rules of solving equations that if we square root one side, we've got to square root the other side. So when we square root this other side, we end up with the square root of 100 is 10. We had tags on this of feet, so that would be 10 feet. So we are able to find the missing side by plugging the information we did know into Pythagorean theorem and just solving the equation as we would any other equation. Okay? In this example, it was the hypotenuse that was missing. Let's look at a situation where it's one of the legs that are missing. Again, we've got A, B, and C, and the information that we know is, we know that A is equal to 5, and we know that C is equal to 13. So let's take our formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and plug in the information that we do know. We know that a is 5, so that's 5 squared. We don't know what b is, so we're going to leave it as b squared. C squared, or c is 13, so we're going to go ahead and plug that in. Now we can go ahead and do this squaring, just simplifying, so that would be 25 plus b squared is equal to 169, which is 13 times 13. B is not isolated. We need to isolate B. So in this case, since they're adding 25 to it, we're going to subtract 25 from both sides. On this side, it'll cancel out. We'll bring down the b squared is equal to 169 minus 25 would be 144. And again, like we did on the other example, we're not interested in what b squared is. We want b by itself. So if we find the square root of b and we find the square root of 144, that's going to leave us with b is equal to 12. And again, we have measurements or units of feet, so we're gonna put 12 feet. Okay, so all we did again, once again, was we plugged the information that was given to us and we plugged it into Pythagorean theorem. Mathematicians, I hope this helps, and you can refer back to this anytime you want, and we are out.